before you judge a parent for choosing a group home or residential placement, I want you to pause for a second, okay? I recently watched a video of a mother explaining how she and her husband, they made the decision to place their son in a group home and to bring him home on the weekends.
Son is in a group home and he just left the family home after being home for the weekend to go back, and this moment is the hardest. Your mind plays tricks on you. You want them home, but you know that it's because of all of the calm time, all of the support, the caregivers, the therapies, all of it is why he's doing so well. And every single weekend, his dad and I have to remind each other and convince our own hearts that it's the right thing.
The comments were divided. Some people understood, but others, they seemed to criticize the parent. They said, I could never do that to my child. But here's the problem. I think it's very easy to judge a decision when you've never had to make it, right? So let me try to paint a picture for you. Imagine a single parent raising an autistic child, or even two parents raising an autistic child with very, very high support needs. You know, a child who is constantly on the move, a child who is aggressive, and not because the child lacked discipline, but because they're struggling to really communicate, to regulate, or to cope with their environment. A child who breaks windows, punches holes on walls, destroys furniture, and just cannot safely go into the community because they may hit strangers without any warning. Imagine that every single caregiver that comes in the home eventually leaves because they just can't safely manage the behaviors. One caregiver suffers a broken nose, another a broken ankle, another is slapped across the face, another is injured so badly enough that they continue having pain months later. Now ask yourself, if no one is willing or able to care for this child, what is that parent supposed to do? I know that some of you will say, well, why don't that parent become, your child's full-time caregiver? Yes, that's an option for some families. But what if giving up that job means losing the income that pays the rent, the mortgage, the utilities, the food, and even the health insurance? What if that parent has other children that depends on them, What if there is no grandparent, there's no aunt, there's no uncle, there's no trusted friend that can step in? What happens when that parent gets sick? What happens when that parent haven't slept in days? Who is there? Who is present to relieve them? And what does self-care even look like when you're the only person your child can safely be with? I think these questions are rarely asked before passing judgment. And the reality is that autism is not one single experience. Some autistic individuals need minimal support, but others require supervision and care every single hour of every single day. So residential placement or a group home isn't really about giving up on your child. It's recognizing that a team of trained professionals can provide a level of support that one exhausted parent just simply cannot provide alone, or even two exhausted parents cannot simply provide that level of support. So to me, it's really about protecting the parent's mental health. It's really about protecting the siblings. And I think an important key factor is basically keeping everyone safe. So sometimes it's the only option left after years of trying everything else. You don't necessarily have to make the same decision for your own family, but you also do not have to shame someone who made a different decision for theirs. I think having compassion, it doesn't mean being in agreement with someone's decision, really. It means showing humility, So the next time you hear a parent's story, resist the urge to tell them what you would have done, okay? Because you don't know what they've lived through. You don't know how many nights they've cried. You don't know how many doors they've knocked on looking for help. You don't know how many times they've chosen between their own well-being and their child's needs. So instead of judging, try asking yourself, what must this family have been carrying to arrive at this exact decision? Because every parent I know who loves their child hopes for the same exact thing: a safe, meaningful, fulfilling life for their son or daughter. That journey just doesn't look the same for every single family. So let's stop comparing, let's stop judging, and let's start extending the compassion we all hope that someone would have shown us if we were walking through our hardest season.